Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of It's All Related, the podcast where we talk about all things intuitive, multidimensional, spirit guides, divine support, and more. And this week I am in Paris talking to my lovely daughter, Sonia, this week in New Orleans. Hi, Son.
Hi, Mom. Oh my goodness. What a treat. We're on Zoom today, and just seeing your beautiful face is making my heart so happy.
It's a great way for us to stay connected, even though between you and me and Sabrina, we're in 3 different countries all the time. But this actually is part of how we stay connected to people energetically. Is we don't have to necessarily be in the same physical space to have really good energetic connections, which is, I think, the biggest motivation we have for doing this podcast, on top of course, sharing what we know with everyone. But there's a lot of selfish motivation here going on too.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And, for myself is just the blessing of being able to talk shop, talk
Yes.
intuition, talk all these different things that it's like us sitting around the dinner table. Because,
Yes.
I have found that one thing to be true is people understand when you talk about intuition and vibration far more than people often assume. A lot of my clients will want, it's like, how do I talk about this? It's kind of weird or strange. And I'm always like, you'll be surprised. And the more normal it is for you, the more that energy leads and people get it. I mean, I live in New Orleans. I'm in the deep South,
Yeah. But you are in New Orleans. You are in the corner of the deep South where
it's very liberal.
They have preserved the depths of spirit guides and intuition as the main anchor of the culture. So you're with your people for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And actually, this past week, I had such a beautiful surprise. So my best friend, Haley, is visiting. And Saturday, I went to a retreat. And she said, Saturday evening, I have a surprise for you, belated birthday gift. So I was assuming maybe she's going to want a performance. She invited my other besties, Nahaya and Paulina. I'm sitting in my living room and there's a knock at the door. A gentleman comes in. I think it's going to be a musician. He's got a little case. Turns out he was a magician. And he wasn't just a magician. He was an intuitive. He sets up his little table and he starts. And we're believers. Mom and I will be in the front row. We are right there. There's a street performer, there's a busker, there's a magician. I'm front row, hands up, enthusiastic. So the first thing that he does is bends a quarter. Okay, incredible. But as everything goes along, there was one illusion, or I don't even know what to call it because it's not a trick, where he had me open a book, a big, thick book, and pick any word at random, a long word. So I pick the word video cassette. And he sits me down. He's like, you got your word? I'm like, great. Ask me. All right, what's a word that starts with the word that you picked? I'm like, violin. And then he asked me for another word. I'm like, violet. He asked me for another word. And we were locking eyes, and I'm beaming it to him. It reminds me of being a kid. We play these intuitive games. So I'm beaming it to him. I'm just picturing a video cassette, video cassette. And he goes, hold on. Turns around on his whiteboard, video cassette. He had, he wrote it down. He had my Haley's cousin, Allie, was visiting in town. And she was, just a little less enthusiastic, arms crossed, kind of looking at him. And he's like, I'm going to guess your iPhone password. And she's like, So he picks up and she's like, beam me the number. And then he picks the first number. And then he goes, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to beam you my iPhone password. So he's sitting there, he's looking at her. And he's like, when I snap my fingers, a random number is going to come into your head. And so lo and behold, she's looking at him, snaps his fingers, she gets a number, unlocks his phone. I mean, it was incredible. These are just a few. I could go on and on and on, but I just reminding you that we are in a unified field. Truly.
Exactly. What a master. I bet that was so fun and entertaining.
I know. When you come, I would love to have him come perform, or I don't even know,
I
it's
would
not even
love that.
perform, show his gift. It's just like,
Well,
it's such a fun, tangible way that we can think of as illusion. But I'm like,
it's
that's what
not.
we're talking about. It's
It's
energy.
energy conversation. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually communicating. And I don't know the statistics, but we've read it 1,000 times that, 90% of what we communicate is energetic and not verbal. And I think that we're speeding and torpedoing into a future where this really is going to be super common. That
Yeah.
we're going to, at least maybe not to the level of excellence and specific specificity as he could, but we're going to be having conversations that are far wider in range in terms of what's really going on, and not being made fun of, because right now it's sort of entering the field that we can talk about I'm feeling this or I'm getting this, but they're still being mocked. You get the memes that are mocking the psychic in the room, or the spiritual person, because it's still, the ego is not 100% at ease about, I'm not in total control. But
Truly.
the flood of this kind of acknowledgement and how it's seeping into our daily experiences just blows me away, because the major part of my life talking about energy or telepathy or picking up on anything just really categorized you like being way out in the field, you
Cuckoo.
know,
Cuckoo,
cuckoo,
cuckoo.
woo woo. And it is not the case anymore.
No.
You don't even hardly hear that word anymore. I
True.
heard it all
It's
the
so true.
time. You don't hear it too much anymore, certainly not with people under 50. People even under 45 or 40. It's like, well, no, this is just the way it is. So
Uh,
but before we got on, we were talking about, okay, we're intuitives, we're communicating energetically, we're in a unified field. How do you turn up that dial so the frequency that you're on is a positive one, is an uplifting one, is exciting, is good? And we were talking about the way to turn up the dial and get into the really good vibes and really attract good vibe conversations and good vibe people is to be
a good
creative.
vibe. Yeah,
Well, yeah, be
truly.
good vibes, but
Well,
what puts you in good vibes is pretty much, for most people, being creative.
truly, truly, like Hecka, that was his creativity. That was his magic. And it was so incredible because later we were sitting, I went to dinner with, when I went to dinner and we're chatting, and I asked Lane, what was your favorite part? And he said, wasn't about all of the things that he performed. It was his energy and presence. He just said, in just showing up, that was the most wonderful thing of how his energy in the room, and just to the same thing. That's something that he loves. And that's his creation that
Yeah.
just then becomes a
And
little
that it
bright
was
light.
actually communicated and felt and received. People who are having fun creating, you brought up the term effervescence.
Yeah,
You
collective effervescence, one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's like you brought this up. It's when you are creating, you are broadcasting a tremendously powerful, heart-centered energy. And that heart, like one of my friends, Greg Braden, once said, and I don't know if this is accurate, but he said it, and I believed him, that your heart frequency is 5,000 times stronger than your head
It
frequency.
is. Have you heard of head math? Heart math?
Heart math, yeah, I think he got it
Yeah.
from heart math. I meant, yeah,
Yeah.
from heart math, but when that heart is open and enjoying itself, it is like a heart transfusion.
It ripples out. It ripples out. And the dominant vibration, it entrains. Like Truly. It's like when the way that I think about it is when I'm in a mood, let's say I'm in London, I'm feeling tired or overwhelmed, and I go play with Sufi and Ara, my nieces. Wow, does it change my frequency in a
So fast.
heartbeat? Because little kids are just naturally in their hearts. Or I think about going to like listening to a beautiful piece of music, whether I'm in person or even just listening to it on my
And
headphones.
we always, whenever you come, wherever we are, wherever, whatever city, we always go see theater. We always go see
Yeah,
people, usually singing and dancing theater.
totally, totally. And you like it. It ripples out because people have committed themselves, especially in theater, or it's like that
I
type of
just,
discipline
I just
is a
adore
devotion of love.
that
There is a
these
devotion of
people
love.
put so much time and energy and effort into entertaining us. You know, we saw Oh Mary, we saw
Oh,
Titanic, and just hilarious, hilarious. And to this, I still think of some of those moments. And I'm going tomorrow to go see a street show here, a street artist here in Paris. And,
cool.
of all the things you can do, if you really want to do it, like we would call it triple bonus decision, is like to turn on your intuition, to up level your good vibes, and to tap into something that brings you a lot of joy. Do something or go see something creative. Better do it, but go and be in the energy of creatives.
Yes.
And they don't
Yes.
have to be good creatives, just doing their
No,
thing. I saw
no.
this guy
Well,
yesterday. I was walking
uh-huh.
in, and there was this guy in the metro, and he was just terrible singer, but given it his all. And I loved him as much as if I had been singing someone who was a professional on stage, because he was broadcasting. He was into it. He wasn't even singing for money. He just wanted to be a
Wanted to
singer.
sing.
And the acoustics in the metro were suitable. And I just sat and people were rolling their eyes at him, but I just thought, you go for it.
Well,
I
it
love that
just,
you're doing this.
I love that.
Maybe because I'm a bad singer too. I mean, I could say, I want to join you if I knew the words, but I appreciated the full on commitment to the
Mm,
expression.
mm. Well,
It lifted my day, that full on, I'm going for it because it makes
yes.
me happy.
Well, when people are 2 feet in, unattached to whether or not it's quote unquote good, he's singing because he loves to sing and wants to share and is having a good time. It also acts as immediate filter for people who are really in their ego or in their spirit.
Yeah,
Because I
that's
can just see of the lean
the
out of the
C parts.
judge,
The
right? Of like
C
the
part,
judge
you
of,
can see the ones leaning in versus
mhm.
leaning out. But the ones leaning out and being critical, I feel bad for that kind of state of mind because you're just the fun sponge.
Well,
You
you got
just
no
suck
skin in the
all the
game.
joy out of the atmosphere, and you're just a drag. And
Well,
you're
well, it's really easy to be a critic when you have no skin in the game. It's
Yeah,
really easy.
That's what I like about Brene Brown. It's like where they're up in the rafters critiquing, you just be down in the field. I mean, I'm kind of paraphrasing. That's not exactly how she says it, but that's how I
She was
see
talking about
her.
the for baseball. It's like you have your people who are in the dugout or in the cheap seats, which are the back
Yeah.
seats. So don't give
Mhm.
power to the people in the cheap seats.
But what I
Because
want to say, and I've actually said it in Psychic Pathway, is being creative is the twin sister of being intuitive. They
absolutely,
go together. It's like a ping pong game. You start being creative, you're going to get downloads. You're going to get inspiration. You're going to get inspiration. It's going to be creative, and that's where Nana used to say. My mom used to say, "There's always a solution. We just have to create it."
it's so true. And I know it's so funny to think about myself in high school. And sometimes when my ego, my pet was really in love with a problem and you'd be like, there's always a solution. And I would just be like, fine.
I don't remember you holding that space too long. I think I
Oh
remember you
no,
trying
I
to be a
know.
long-suffering teenager because that was just part of the
My
experiment at
evolution.
that point in your life. But
That was my creative expression.
I used to call you Bambi with fangs. I mean,
Uh,
you really were always Bambi. You would try
oh,
to be the dark teenager, but you couldn't genuinely pull it off. You're just too sweet. You're just your heart,
it's
your
so
Pisces
funny.
nature
So
is.
funny. I your spirit comes through. Even I was looking at a picture of myself from like early high school, and I have like my bondage pants and my dark eyeliner and my little curly hair and my
Beanie
fingerless
hat.
scrub and my beanie. And I'm trying to mean mug. And I'm like, you're not fooling anyone,
You
honey.
look like a teddy
You're
bear.
not
You look
fooling
like a teddy
anyone.
bear.
No one is afraid. No one, you are not giving off dark and mysterious because and that's when you know your spirit. Like my spirit is not that. My spirit is enthusiastic and curious and engaged. And as much as at that point in my evolution of trying to figure out who I was, it's like your spirit, you can't hide your spirit. You can bury it. You can't hide it. It's always there.
Yeah, that it's as long as your heart is beating, it's there. The thing about what I think the way to find yourself back is the world presents so many messages that you have to perform. You have to perform
Exactly.
and show up in a way that earns approval or applause. But when you're creative, it's not what the world gives you. If you're creative in the right spirit, if you are in the performing and you're performing for a result, you're not going to enjoy it. I remember I was teaching a trainee. You might have been there. And there was this one gentleman from New York, student, and I was trying to help him reclaim his spontaneity, but he had been trained as a singer, very
Mm,
serious singer. And I was trying to get him to be playful and sing in a more playful way. It was all very disciplined,
right.
just opera. And he was singing away to the class, and they all sat there just stonewalling because they didn't feel anything. They didn't feel his heart.
True.
Didn't feel it. And I said, you got to look at that. They're not, something's not
Connecting.
connecting. So what can connect? And he couldn't get it. He couldn't let go. And I said, so I said, what we're going to do is we're not going to have you sing. We're going to have you dance. And he had been really trained in singing. I said, and we're going to put a blindfold on you and have you dance. And I said,
Mm,
I'll hold on to you. You won't fall off the stage. But I just want you to move that music into your body. And the blindfold is so you can't see the people and play to their reaction, or be affected by it if you're not getting one.
right.
And then he found it. He finally found it. And we were playing kids songs. We weren't even playing anything that was, terribly, terribly challenging. I think it was like row, row, row. I put kids songs on and he got it. He got the vibe of it's your spontaneous self. And that's the self that is your spirit. That's the self that wants to create. That's the self that was creating as a kid that Sufi and Ara are in. It's pure signal of this is me. But what you
Yeah.
get from that, and I just think you need to connect the two, is you get really intuitive. You
Oh, well, you are.
become very clear channel. I had a client, I had a client who was a writer, actually a pretty well-known client. She was a writer, but not spontaneous, not just very mental, very mental. But eventually I said, you need to play music, play a piano or do something. And her first reaction was that's my brother. That's not me. And I was like, no, he might have the
This is what
same
I'm,
inclination, but he doesn't own the space. And it took her a while, but eventually she started playing a piano. And then she ended up opening up a whole new arena. She was writing musicals and she was writing plays and she was singing songs and she was singing songs all day, walking around. And it just turned on the Christmas tree for her of joy. And she said it started coming in, where before it was always trying to figure it out. So that's the big shift you're going to get when you create. I mean, you can just create a meal. I mean, you don't have to
Oh,
create something to show others. It's the process for yourself.
Hello, my sweet friends. It's Sonia Tully. And here's one thing I know for sure. Your head and your heart are meant to be the best of friends. And when you live life inside out, your head and heart are one. Being an intuitive, connected soul is all about remembering who you are and uncovering your gems. It is my mission to help you trust your intuition so that you plug back in and reconnect to your authentic self. Check out my soul readings. We'll look deeply at your soul lessons and find your purpose. We'll answer your big burning questions like, what is holding me back in life? Or what's the right job for me? We'll look at what's going on for you right now and give you grounded steps to bring your life into alignment with your true self. There is nothing more that I love than helping people live spontaneously and awaken their inner guide. I can't wait to help you come home. Visit my website, soniatully.com, to learn about the ways I can work with you so that you'll dance through life with clarity and confidence.
yeah. I think we can misinterpret being creative as being the professional artist instead of your spirit. Who you are innately.
Cool.
It is innate. You are here to create and to even just look at your life and notice all of the things that you've already created, good,
And
bad, or
you create
indifferent.
every day. What do you create every day?
Create experiences. Different experiences. You can create like table scrapes. You can create meals. You can create beautiful outfits. You can create a garden. You can create anything. It's where is your intention?
Well, I was thinking today, I don't cook, and it's always bothered me. So I thought, what do I do if I don't create, if I don't cook? And then I realized I create a great picnic.
You do.
I create a really good picnic. I might not be cooking up a roast, but you're going to have a surprise after surprise picnic. And that is its own creation.
Definitely. We're going to have the beautiful cherries. We're going to have the jambon. We're going to have the good baguette. We're going to also have the beautiful
cheeses.
And the place where we're going to set down the blanket.
And the glasses and the drinks. And so I thought, I'm not going to say anymore that I don't cook. I picnic.
I love picnicking. I love a picnic.
I remember when you and I came to France and I was on that tour and we did that really terrible apartment.
Oh my gosh. Over a decade ago, my poor mom had just had knee surgery. And we were on a month-long European tour. So it's the two of us. She cannot put any weight on her leg. All right.
I had a cane, broken knee, and what was I thinking? I rented an apartment on the fourth floor and forgot to ask if they had a lift.
No, they didn't tell us. They didn't tell us because they didn't want us to cancel the reservation. And so we arrive. And of course, two of us that we love to create a cute outfit show up with.
Talk about poor me. I had to crawl up on my butt, but you had to take the two suitcases.
I had with pleasure. Pleasure.
I mean, honestly, you are the can-do Sherpa. Unbelievable.
One of my nicknames is Arvida.
I'm so grateful to you for doing that. But not only did you do it, you did it with good vibes.
Of course.
I mean, even creating a solution. I know quite a few who would not have done that with good vibes. I would have never heard the end of it. We don't have to mention particulars, but
their pet would be unhappy. I got you, boo. I got you, boo.
But I remember that's what we did because it was such a tiny little place. There was no cooking involved. We had gorgonzola cheese and baguettes every night, like a whole baguette and a whole wheel of gorgonzola. We were going to town.
And we were also in it. We were both
in it. We were both having a really drama time.
But, just to this, both of these things of just being creative, because sometimes it can be creative with, cooking, right? But also creative in the solution, creative in your approach. There are times like walking up those stairs, it was a spiral staircase and we were traveling every weekend.
We were showing small trailers for suitcases.
So it was, let's just say I got really strong, but instead of going to the ego, this is so, I can't believe it. Da, 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 da. All right. I can suffer this experience or I can create something fun, which then reminds me, Mom and I wound up outside of London. Where was that? And you were doing a signing. Manchester. Manchester.
The worst experience
ever
of being invited somewhere to teach a class and ending up in the Twilight Zone.
Oh, I mean, if you go behind the curtain of us, truly. Life on the road can sometimes be
like a little healing center that this man and his wife had built up. And they invited me to come and speak. And he picked us up we had to take the train we took the train and he picked us up in his car, which was filthy. But not only that, the smell,
the wall of stink. The moment you opened the car door, you got hit with a wave of putrid.
And it was like a 30-minute drive at rush hour.
He doesn't mention this. He doesn't even mention nothing. And Mom and I have the windows down and we're trying to hang out the car window like two dogs trying to get fresh air. Well, also
he's talking away. He's talking about how he's a virgin. Do you remember that?
Yes, of course. This is an inappropriate conversation. We just met this man. We are at a professional event. He is chatting away about how he had just lost his virginity and married his wife.
40. He's like the 40-year-old virgin. And we were like, well, that good, trying to be
no problem. Professional. But also you have to understand too, my mom is about to go give a talk to it's almost like you get in the zone. It's like preparing, like connecting to the spirit, setting our intention, setting the space.
What I have to say. And they apparently, it was like 200 people coming or 150 people. And I was trying to focus on that while this guy is downloading, flushing the toilet of his brain and half of it's in the trunk of the car because it smells so bad.
So bad. Intimate details of his life, intimate details of his sex life. And I think at one point we said, we were kind to say, I need to focus. Loving boundaries.
I did say it.
Loving boundaries.
I had to put the guy,
we were so taken aback also at the moment that it was kind of like, is this real?
Like, what is happening?
Is this real life? Is this really happening right now? Is this real life? Okay. So we arrive at this healing center and usually how it goes is.
And by then the event was at 7.
Right.
And we arrived like at 6:20.
Right. So you don't have any moment. Usually we have a little green room, a space, again, private space to prepare. Also, with all of there are people who come and travel and it's so wonderful, but right before needing like a space to be able to invite people in instead of everybody coming at you. So there is no private space. He has you hanging out in the foyer, basically in the welcome room. It is
as everybody's flooding in.
Everybody's flooding in and they have packed this tiny, tiny bookstore so tight that everybody is like sardines. It is summer. It is hot. The British are polite, but not happy. I just remember the energy of the room when you got up there. Oh, okay. So I, of course, am in the front row and and I hid Mom behind like a little scrim. I'm like, you stand here. I'm going to body block you so that you can get into your zone, which is at this point
prepared for what I'm going to do.
Right. Teach
while being in like being on a highway.
Right. People, Sonia. Oh, hi. Nice to meet you. And of course you were so gracious, but it's like, this is my moment. I have to get centered. So I'm doing defense, literally like a little crab, waving my arms, trying to there is no mommy here, invisibility cloak. right. So now it's time for my mom to teach. It is hot. People are sardines. It is straight. And people were just, you walked up to 200 tight butts, 200 people
200
who were
PBS,
unhappy.
irritated, hungry type butts.
Just the energy in the room.
It was like the dead zone.
Oh, so he gets up and starts. He gets up and first he starts. He introduces mom. Go ahead, you go up.
Well, first of all, he went on for 20 minutes about himself before he ever introduced me at all. He was boring this crowd who now it's 7:30. They're hungry. It's hot. He's boring. He is going on and on and on about himself and how he started this place, not reading the room at all. And now not only was it dead zone, but now it's a dead zone and irritated. It was like I had to sing and dance and perform and do a psychic CPR and everybody in that room.
You were truly an alchemist. I mean, you were an alchemist.
You did it. We got them out of their heads and out of their barking dogs and into their hearts and starting to laugh and have fun, which is no small feat in a British audience. All my love to the British, but it's not in the culture to be that at ease.
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous. But
they stand in line for the bus. They stand in line for the bus, you know? There's a lot of social order. There's a lot of
they were actually having a good time. And it was
beautiful.
It was like I just did CPR on 1,000 people. I was really transmitting my all. And just about it was going to be the end. And they got up to start clapping. And it was like, thank you, goodbye.
Thank you. Good night.
And I said, good night, thank you. And they just started to clap. And he grabbed the microphone. And he started again on himself and another
20
minutes about
him and his wife.
And to go buy his wife's vegan brownies.
We have vegan cake.
And we hadn't
forever.
Eaten anything, and he had offered. He didn't eat anything. Now it's like 10 p.m. And he asked us if we wanted to buy his wife's brownies.
Buy a slice of grape vegan cake.
Oh, right.
I'm like, it was great. It was made out of grapes. And at this point, now we could be frustrated, annoyed, and we just started laughing. We just decided to approach this with like just the filter of how silly can it be to be in a human experience? Then get back in the car. Back in stinky car.
We got in the car and then I said something. I go, your car smells putrid. He goes, oh, I think I dropped some. I spilled some.
No. Then he opens the trunk and finds old milk. He found 2 gallons of old milk.
Like this guy he was so out of his body. He
so funny.
Smell putrid. I said, because we asked for a taxi. I said, can we have a taxi? This is really hard. And there was no taxi coming. And I said, what is it? And he goes, oh, I forgot about that. And it was summer.
Oh,
it was factory in the trunk.
Leaking out the car even before you opened it. I just remember laughing so hard. And just a reminder to never get caught up on people's appearance, because he's a spiritual guy with the bookshop and the different things, but so not present. And also how you can be creative when you approach or in tough situations. We could have really had a meltdown.
It could have been.
We could have been a dog.
Back. And it was it was far.
And there was no food.
To London was like a couple hours.
Yeah, there was no food, and it was tough.
No food on the train.
No privacy, no bathroom, no water. I remember there was no water. It's like
no water,
nothing. And it's when you can be an alchemist as well and a creative.
Made the best of it. We definitely did not lose it.
Yeah,
we laughed all the way home.
All the way home. I mean, to this day. That man offering us £5 for his wife's vegan grape cake. And no hate to the vegan, no hate to grapes. I was just like, sir, you haven't given us water in five hours. We've been drinking from the water. There's no offer of water. Also, I do not want. Thank you so much. What a beautiful creation. No, thank you.
No, thank you. I think we were buying candy bars in the train station because
It was the only
everything
thing that was open.
because it
It
was
was the
so.
only thing that was.
This was a universe really testing to see if we are showing up with love, because that's the only reward on that particular event. The people in the crowd were wonderful.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I mean,
They were worth it. They were lovely. And I remember him saying, "Can hardly wait to have you back next year." And we're like, mm-hmm. Okay.
Thank you. We
Thank you.
will.
And we never lost it on him, but we definitely called him out on the cheese factory in the trunk. That's for sure. What a nightmare. Oh, God.
And sometimes when you're in a situation that's just happening, right? Like,
And you
like
lost
that.
total control.
You're traveling, you're with your boss, you're in a moment, you're in family. Like, I sometimes can use my creativity to think, how can I make this fun?
Tolerable, at least. If not better.
And sometimes that is just laughing at the ridiculousness, because it immediately connects you to your spirit.
She used to say the situation is critical, but not serious. Remember that?
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
I think we said it a couple times because it was critical.
It was critical, and it was serious, and it was ridiculous.
This was going to be another scene in our movie.
Oh, I know.
Our mockumentary of the book tour. It was
behind the curtain.
I think that was the worst, most challenging experience we've probably ever had.
I mean, it's one day we'll have to do a podcast on our greatest hits of just
our greatest hits of
what traveling, because I can think of a few other ones that are contenders. But
we did talk about the gnomes. We did talk about the gnomes.
Well, I'm also, remember the storage space in Albuquerque?
Oh, no. Oh, that'll have to be another podcast.
Yeah, we'll have to give that for another day. We'll have to leave that for another day.
Where we were invited to do a workshop, and it was produced in a storage space.
No, truly, like a shipping container. It was a shipping container, an all metal shipping container with folded chairs. We asked for a mic, you asked for a speaker, and they gave you a Radio Shack, like almost like kids karaoke.
It was it's some woman's 5-year-old kids karaoke machine. And that was the time you had invited your college friends to come see your mom.
And I'm like, please, like, my mom's amazing. And it was
Tinker Toys just trauma.
But again, you have to laugh and to be creative, and also
and we still did it. Still gave them our best talk.
But that's where I love and admire, and I'm just like a reminder of you can be creative, and however it is, whatever the conditions are going on around you, you can choose what energy you approach and what energy you use. Because I think I just see, I've been around the block with you so many different times where it's like, this is not it. Like, anyone with half a brain would be like, what the heck? Including literally being in a shipping container with no air, that they would close the door, pull down the door all the way, truly like a shipping container. Insane.
With
locked in.
Temporary lights. I forgot.
Oh, gosh.
I think I had a mental blackout on the shipping container because we were so trusting to just show up and think it's going to be the best.
Totally. And even then, of just in the approach and in the energy, instead of getting caught up by any of the outside things.
Like you could have a fit and walk out, but all those people were showing up. You couldn't throw a fit and it's like, truly the show must go on.
Yeah. But that you can shoot. But I feel like even with that's the alchemy of intention you can use, whether it's a show or just things that are going on in your life.
Whatever responsibility you have.
You can respond. You don't have to react. We can maybe have a moment of reaction. Right. We can laugh about it later, but it's a reminder of I have control.
To be creative. In the moment, we had to be creative. I even remember now, shipping container. That was my book, Soul Lessons and Soul Purpose. I
remember that, and I remember how hot it was. I just remember because there was no air, and I remember
there was no windows. It was
there was nothing. There was nothing. There was the sound just being like, this is, and even then being like, okay, well, Kat and Maria, this is
my
welcome.
Mom. I think that they pretty much decided we were not so after that, but I still gave a good talk. It just,
Yeah.
the
Oh,
environment left a lot to be desired.
well, you can be a good creator. Like whatever you
Well,
have in front of you,
exactly.
true creatives, what I'll find is
Well,
whatever they're
I
using,
think that's
they'll
our tool
create.
of the week this week is, whatever life gives you, be creative with it. Don't be a victim of it. Be creative with it. That's the lesson. That's the tool of the week. Whatever life gives you, create something, create the best you can out of it.
Create something beautiful.
Yeah.
No,
Create
best you
something
can.
beautiful.
Or a joke if you really, and maybe you might need some time, but then, or
Yeah.
create some humor.
Yeah. And just say, I'll write this in my movie or my memoir later. And that's how you get some perspective.
I'd say our tool of the week and make it a challenge. Being in a, if you're, whether
Yeah.
it's trying something new or if you're in
Whatever
a
is the,
challenging situation, use your creativity to make it something great.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah, for you, between you and
Yeah.
you. It's like, all right, I accept, and I'm going to be an alchemist.
Yeah. I'm going to be a magician for sure. And going to turn this around for my own sake. Well, that is definitely the way we do for sure. That is definitely the way to meet life and to just
Absolutely.
be creative instead of be victimized by.
Thanks. Absolutely. And if you're in New Orleans, before we go to our question of the week and going on, and hire hecka the Magi, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. I'm giving it a solid shout out. Solid shout out if you want to be inspiring, creative.
Well,
Hecka the
I'm going to
magician.
be
And when you
coming in the fall.
come,
I hope Hecka the magician is still
the
there.
Magi. Oh, he is. He lives here. We're doing it. He's going to come.
Great.
I already have a whole night planned. I'm already using my creative juices to think of what our evening will be.
I'm going to plan on it. So before we go to our question of the week, what do you have coming up?
Not much, but I know you do. And speaking of creativity, you've got your guides, Stylic Guides transmission that's coming up.
I'm really excited about this because it's all about creativity. The planet has changed and the rules of manifestation have changed. And so my guides, who are, some of you know, Joachim and the emissaries of the third ray, have invited me to open the space for them to teach us what the new rules of manifestation are. The old vision boards and the affirmations and completely focusing on what you want are no longer actually the best manifestation tools. So we will all learn together on the solstice in the transmission what the new tools for manifestation are. So and they promise me that they're faster, easier, and more effective. So planets changed. We're talking about frequency. Now we're going to learn on that transmission. So that's June 20th on the solstice. So you can, and then 2 days later, they wanted to give a pause. And then 2 days later, I'm going to do another transmission with them on how to remove the blocks and the old frequencies that need to get out of the way. So it's a first for me to do this. I'm pretty excited about it. And everybody who wants to create a new way, be creative, be effective, and overcome the blocks quickly, show up. We'll put the link in below, right? They can get the link below.
Yeah, you can find it in the show notes. You can go to your website, soniachoquette.net, or on Instagram at Sonia Choquette. There's so many different ways. I'll be there. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what comes through. And
Me
because
too.
even just being,
so I look forward to it.
And so now we have our beautiful question of the week. If you would like to write us, you can write us at It's All Related Podcast Questions or vibe check at soniatully.com. We love to hear from you. This week, we have a question from our listener, Sarah. Sarah says, I've always felt very intuitive and turned it off for sometimes as life-changing events had to occur. I'm trying to dive deep and tune in, and I'm learning to embrace this spiritual life. I want to fulfill and engage with my children who are the lights in my life, and I want to let them know how you stay grounded and embrace the chaos of the day to day, as well as how to connect and listen through them. How can I help them stay in tune and listen to themselves?
Well, first of all, your kids are going to not do what you say, they're going to do what you do. So you model it by saying, okay, we have a challenge or whatever. Let's take a breath. Let's get back into our bodies and treat it as the most matter-of-fact way to live. So you show them rather than tell them is the first thing. And that you have the ability to do that. Let's take a breath together. Let's shake, rattle, and roll for a few minutes, shake the energy off, whatever you want to come up with that way. And if you want a whole in-depth process, I have a book called The Intuitive Spark, which is how to be an intuitive parent with and help your kids protect their natural intuition, their natural inner senses. And I even have an online course for it if you want to learn a little bit more in depth. But you can start by just modeling the behavior by talking about energy. And if it doesn't feel good, they get to talk to you about it. And you just be real matter of fact about it and say, well, let's shake it off. Let's breathe it out. Let's walk away. Give them the power to acknowledge how they feel, and that they can cut cords, and they can stomp it out. They can use sound. There's a lot of tools and many more in the book, The Intuitive Spark. And I would start there.
Yeah, I would say most importantly, when as we're learning, kids are your best fellow playmate students. As mom said, my big thing growing up in an intuitive household, you never sat us down and said, follow your intuition. We talked about it. It was normalized. Again, as you're saying, you led by example and you made it normal in a safe space. What I love, my best friend, Mary, right now has 2 young kids, and she's been diving deep into her own intuition, her guides, her angels, all these things are showing up. And she's been talking about it with her kids. I was on the phone with her just the other day, and she said to me, Sonia, Beck, her son, was really ungrounded and all over the place. So what we did was we used your tool. We rubbed our hands together and put one hand on our heart and one hand on our belly just to start to connect to our spirit, and everything grounded out. I loved it. It worked. She said that when we go parking and get a parking spot, we expect good things. And when we get them, the 3 of us do sparkle fingers. And that's their way of acknowledging the ways of the universe. And I was like, Mary, I'm so proud of you. You're so wonderful. Such a good mommy. But of making it play, even that, it's like, oh, wow, we got our parking spot. You got help. You have different tools. The big intuition is one thing, but also just reminding, I think one of the most comforting things of growing up in a family is you have support. You have a whole network of support on this plane level. And the plane. Always, always, always. You can go inside to your spirit for love and support. You can go to the people around you. You can go to your guides and angels. And that is the most important. To affirm and create and affirm really their spirits. That's the big thing.
Alone. They're never
and you affirmed our spirits though. That's the other thing that I would say as a parent is Sabrina and I are very different. Very, very, very different. And we're just you never put an expectation on us to have to be a certain way. Even both of us in this field, there was never an expectation or anything, whether I was in goth or in my emo phase or whatever I was into and whatever I loved and cared about, you're always there with believing eyes, championing me, supporting me, telling me I could trust my vibes and giving me a safe space to talk about energy. Miss Madame Borsi, my 4th grade teacher, feels off, you never defaulted, but you never defaulted to, you believed and trusted me instead of, oh, you're being a problem or you're being an issue. You trusted my vibes when I had a vibe. And I find that that's a huge thing when you're a parent to help affirm your kid.
Have their back and know their experience and what they're sharing with you is real.
Definitely.
And you don't have to conform. You talk about it. And if the situation is asking of them things that are way wrong, and change the situation. But
I love that.
You just have to adapt. Okay, we'll adapt, but you don't have to betray yourself.
And I'll say one last point because we got to go. But one thing too, that's really simple is just to be present and engaged with your kid. Just be present.
Be interested.
recently, one of the most beautiful things is watching you as a Nana to Sufi and Ara. And I get a different perspective of how you are as like a mom, how you are, and how present you are with those girls, truly getting into their world, playing with them, just is such a gift. And especially now with like smartphones and being busy, it's like you don't need to teach them anything.
No.
They already know. Just preserve the container so they remember. Yeah.
And know their experience is just as real as yours.
Wow.
And
Amen.
celebrate. So I thank you for that question, because you know what? That goes both ways. Your kids will reaffirm your intuition, will reaffirm theirs, and you'll reaffirm their spirit, and they'll reaffirm yours. And then you're going to just have the best little buddies for life.
True. Amen. I'm not living it. Well, I love you so much, Mom. We actually have to run a second to go teach our class.
That's fun. We have to go get ready
fun.
for our certification class now. So thanks everybody for tuning in.
And if you like this podcast, please support us by leaving us a review, subscribing, sharing it with a friend. It means more to us than write us questions at It's All Related Podcast Questions or vibecheck@soniatully.com. Thank you so, so, so much. We just
being part
love
of
you.
our family.
I love you, Mom.
Love you, Son. Love you, people. Bye.
Bye.